Yes, 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 yes.
Look.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh my God. Who's the one actor? Who's the actor that does that all the time? I always flex from the. He's funny too. He's a Jack guy too. A black guy, really. Yeah, funny stuff.
Yeah.
So here we are. Yes, the shirt is off. Yes, he is tan. Yes, he is like 100 years old and pure muscle. He's not 100 years old. He's 67.
102.
67, correct?
66. Well, 65 till the end of the month. On July 31, I'll be 66.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. What was I going to mention to you? So you posted some good stuff lately. You had a picture of Brad, the young gentleman that we saw that hurt his hand. He's out there with you guys at the morning run, like 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. That was great to see. Yeah. Looked like he was doing pretty good too. I mean, as far as
you know what, Tom, he's a warrior. He's a fighter. He's got a great spirit. Right. You know, he told me what exactly happened because it was the first time I really got a chance to, and I had envisioned that like the saw came here.
Oh God! Oh,
he came here.
Oh,
on this side of the knuckles. Yeah. Oh. So he said he found these 3 fingers together with the knuckles behind the tool shed.
Oh my God!
But I don't want to really get because it gets a little bit for somebody who's not really up to snuff on that kind of stuff. But to his credit, everybody around him was losing their minds, and he's like, "Guys, calm down." EMT guys, he was telling him, "You're in shock." He goes, "No, you're in shock. Let's go. Get me to the So he really, to his credit, incredibly kept his wits about him while everybody else was losing it.
Oh God, I can't even imagine that sight.
Yeah,
I guess you have to, right? I remember my son was Cody, my youngest son. God, I can't remember. He was like 10, 11 years old, and it was Memorial Day weekend, and we had a boat at the time, and we'd bought a big floatable trampoline. For the water. It was bad weather, so I put it out in my front yard. So all the kids were playing on it and everything. I did not realize that they were flipping this thing up on its side and then jumping off it. So he jumped off it, landed on his arm. His arm bent the wrong way backwards. What do you call that? Hyperextend your elbow?
Yeah.
So we were all inside. He comes to the door. The doorbell's ringing, and he was pretty calm. And I stood there and looked at him, and his arm was bent backwards. And I was like, oh my God. But, it was the same thing. He was pretty good. He was, he was small. He got in the car. I put him in the back seat, drove to I figured it'd be quicker just to drive to the hospital. We were like 5 minutes away. In the back seat, he says to me, "Dad, is my arm going to fall off?" And I was like, but, I feel like I was the only one there. So I had to control him. I had to get him to the hospital and drive and try to make sure he's okay and all that kind of stuff. We got to the hospital. And once the doctors turned over, I may have told you the story. Once the doctors
No.
I got in the room. I just started bawling like a little baby.
Sure.
Because my son, but now I could relax, or at least I had him where you're supposed to be. And he started making some fun of me. He's in pain. He's going, it was hilarious. And the doctors and nurses are just dying laughing with the scene. And he's one of those guys, they give him all the medication in the world. It doesn't affect him because they wanted to knock him out so they could pull the elbow back into place.
Yeah.
And, they drugged him. They're going, this is not got a horse. So they finally said, "Listen, we're going to take him into another room. You can't watch this." So they took him to another room and got it done. And now he's feeling a little loopy. And he comes back out of the room. He's going, "I could have done that myself. I could have done it myself." It's hilarious. Well, but it just reminded me of Brad, where it's like you got to be under control to get it taken care of.
Yeah, it's amazing that like our kids, because Shawn, I think he was I'm trying to think, like 16-ish, 15, 16. And he'd sparred on a Monday against Foreman, who was
sorry to interrupt you, but one of our buddies just asked a question. I don't want to be rude and ignore him. One of our veterans. What hat are you sporting?
This is a golf course where the Warriors, the disabled veteran team, we had an outing here last year, Ron.
Oh.
It's in New Jersey. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. That's our buddy Ron Jameson, veteran.
Yeah, he's a good man.
Thank you again for your service, Ron.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Ron. So Shawn had sparred on a Monday, and he sparred Foreman, who at the time was either the world champion or was getting ready. I think he was getting ready to fight for the title.
Huh?
And so he sparred Shawn on Monday. It was pretty heated. And then Wednesday, Shawn was sparring because at the same time, Shawn was getting ready for something. I don't know, Golden Gloves, Diamond Gloves, whatever it was. And he got in with a guy, and the guy threw like a little baby right hand, but Shawn's nose literally went to his ear. So, I kind of, because I'm his dad, kind of panicked. I didn't know what to do, so I just took a towel and put it over his face. And he got a little angry with me, like, get away, kind of thing.
Oh.
Like,
how old was he? How old?
About 16, 15, 16. Right. So he was like, in other words, he said, I got this, Dad. I'm not a little baby anymore, right? So long story short, I bring him to the ENT right away, ear, nose, and throat. And it's a big practice. There's like 5 doctors. And I don't know if you remember the scene when Arnold Schwarzenegger walks into the bar in the first Terminator. He's completely naked. And it's a biker bar, and all the music just stops. And it was like, and when Shawn and I walked into the waiting room, because it was pretty crowded, everybody turned around and just went, oh. So now I get him into the doctor. He's in the chair, and nurses and other doctors are going, like, coming to the door, peeking and going, ooh, like this. Right? Oh. So long story short, I said to the doc, what's the story? He goes, well, can you get him back here tomorrow? For I'm going to bring him to my outpatient. I'm going to put him under to fix this. So Shawn goes, let's do it now. Oh. So yeah, and that's basically what he did. I mean, a little bit of
gauze up there.
No, he actually had like a little butter knife, and he actually stuck it in his nostril and just pulled it over. So what he said had happened was on Monday when he got hit, it was displaced. So the whole triangle was loose, but it didn't shift. Oh. So the next day you could have gone with your finger and pushed it over. Oh. Okay. And then 6 to 8 weeks later, he fought and he knocked the kid out in the first round and won state county championship. So, but it's like those are the guys like Shawn, like Brad, like your son. Who I want all the attention in the world. I want people.
That's not true. I don't buy that. I remember first time I broke my nose. I was playing midget or Bantam or something like that. We were doing a skating drill. And of course, me being Mr. Smartass, pretended I was like diving to get across the finish line. Dove right into the back of another player's skate just when he was taking face first. So sorry, I got to answer Ron's question here. What's on the menu? I think we're just going to do some sweet potato fries, maybe make up that watermelon salad that I had before. And batters. Yeah. So I had seared tuna yesterday for my meal. Oh, do you like seared tuna? Oh,
yeah, love it.
I like to just sear it on top and have it pretty raw in the middle. Oh,
Beth went to the farmer's market yesterday. Brought home organic string beans, potatoes, and chicken. So that was like just a good old country dinner last night. But it was great. Nice. You can really notice the difference when you buy like the quality. You know?
Yeah, really totally. Yeah. So when I broke my nose the first time, my poor mother, like, I was all, like we all were kids, were always getting hurt all the time and everything. So she took me to the doctor and had him put it back in place, and it put a cast on my face. On my forehead, taped on across.
Like the basketball players used to wear.
Yeah. So heals up, and then I broke my nose probably 15 times after that. Like at the end, it was getting so bad, he just took the thumbs and just squashed them together. Right? So, so it's like I can only, like most guys, probably like you from boxing, you can only breathe out of one side of your nose. So
yeah. Well, I remember, I guess my poor mother. So we were playing in the summer with a bunch of kids. We're playing circus in the backyard. I had darts, like regular darts. I said, guys, I'll be the dude that stands in front of the tree and you throw the darts at me. So, yeah, not known for not a Mensa member at that point in my life. And sure, one right in my shin, like this. That was my first tetanus shot that I had to get. Yes. I feel bad for all the mothers out there that have boys like Tom and myself and Brad.
My poor mother, when she had about a 5-year battle with cancer before she finally passed away, this was 28 years ago. And that's one of the things she said all the time. She says, if we do it all over again, she never would have given me a pair of skates. Yeah.
Well, did she ever tell you that, because we both have 2 sons. My mother would often say,
totally.
That.
I was terrible. My poor parents, some of the stuff I would do, because I was a hockey player and everybody's kissing my rear end all the time and everything, and I was doing stuff that I tell some stories. And I guess same thing. Yeah. Like if my kids do to me what I did to my parents, I'd kick them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
How about when they first go off to college, right? You think to yourself, oh my God, no. Like you just start thinking of all the things you did in college and thinking, these kids going to do the same thing.
It started for me in kindergarten because Tom, my mother took me to the bus stop, which is like a quarter mile up the street, right? I was so frightfully tiny. First day of kindergarten, she had to lift me up to the first step to get on the bus, right? So all day long, she's like in a panic, oh God, I hope he's okay, I go to pick you up and you're beating up a 3rd grader.
Oh, is that right? That's funny. I want to be careful because my mother's passed away now. I people that knew her, she's a fantastic person, this tiny little woman. So I don't want to ever paint the wrong picture, right? But she wanted to teach me a lot of lessons, and we were at a lacrosse game one time, and I must have done something. So up in Canada, for people that don't know, they take the ice out of a hockey rink. You play lacrosse in the box room. So I must have done something to this young boy. We're standing in the lobby. He comes by, about 6 or 7 years old, knocks soda out of my hand. He wants to start a fight, but I'd never fought before. I didn't know what was going on. So I just stood there, and everybody leaves. I thought, okay, that's what he goes. We go to the parking lot. I'll never forget. I can remember it like it's yesterday. I remember it's a sunny day, gravel parking lot, out in the farm country and everything. And she looks around, makes sure nobody else is around. And she goes, if you ever let somebody do that to you again, I'm going to kick the SAE out of you myself. And I remember looking at her like, what? She never spoke like that, but she was going to send the message to her son. He's going to stick up for himself. So
that's pretty much, I mean, that's old school. And my dad, I forget what happened. There was some kid out front. My father said, just go, man. What are you going to do? Just go outside, take care of business. Win, lose, or draw, you got to show up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's another one of our veterans, too, that I want to make sure we get him up on the screen here on July 4th. Barry Shelley, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you as well. Yeah, Mark and I discussed whether we want to, we both very patriotic, and we want to make sure that we get on here on the 4th and honor people like Ron Jameson, Barry Shelley, all the other men and women that have served the country and continue to serve our country. So I know you had a great post there this morning. Did you post that video you sent me?
I just sent it to my close friends. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any problem sharing it, but yeah. I mean, yesterday was tremendous, Tom. And we did like about a 5.5 mile hike. Pretty decent hike. I was worried about Brad. I was just so afraid he'd take a digger, but he was great.
Yeah.
And we all had our American flags with us. I don't know if you saw. Yeah. And then you know how when they get around water, Bill was like, I'm going in the water. And we're not really supposed to swim up there. It's a county park.
Oh.
So he went in. Then Joe Palermo, the other guy that was one of my buddies, he's a former Army Ranger. So he gets wet. He's sitting, he's swimming. This will be the second or third time in the swim. And they train together all week, Joe and then Johnny Corbicella. So they swam all up and around the lake, Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So Bill Brown, I know we talk about it all the time. Fantastic human being, former teams guy, Navy SEAL teams guy, headed up and started the swim that we are participating in August 6th. That Mark plays a huge role in putting it all together. Fantastic role, training it, making sure the guys all can pass the swim test and everything. Again, that's August 6th. Again, I know we talk about it all the time, but again, Bill Brown, former teams guy, started it all. This will be the 4th one. And I've been part of it, thanks to Mark. I've been part of it last 2 years, not swimming, just helping set up and make sure everybody's got what they need. But Bill's a fan, again, incredible. As he puts it, he's a beautiful man. He gets up and makes a speech. And again, I think what's funny is there's just a perception of all men and women in the military, particularly the SEALs, that they're these tough men and they don't talk about love or passion. He gets up there and he's talking to all these guys. And they're all jacked and they all get little shorts on. He says, "You're all beautiful men. You're beautiful Asian men, beautiful black men, beautiful white men."
It was interesting. Yes, I won't go through the whole story, but he went to Fort Benning, Georgia, right after he got out of BUD/S for I think land navigation. And Joe Palermo, who our good buddy with us yesterday, Army Ranger, that's kind of their wheelhouse, land nav and the rucking and all that. So, but I won't go through the whole story. But Bill tells a story, and he pretty much took one for his partner. There was a pass-fail thing, kind of thing, and Bill took the heat because he was with a senior officer. SEAL was a senior officer, and it was actually a malfunction that wasn't his responsibility. But in any event, it just shows you the character of the kind of guy Bill is. I mean, and he caught some heat for it. They sent him to Diego Garcia, and that's a whole other story for a bit before he came back. But just shows you what kind of man he is. He's a team guy, and we're all together.
He is too, totally team. So just, I know we want to keep promoting this event because it's a fantastic event. Participated by some beautiful men and women. And again, it's August 6th. They start at Liberty State Park over in New Jersey. They have a fantastic presentation there. They say some speeches, get down to 22. Do they do 22 pull-ups when they start? Or is it just
because we don't have any stations set up there. So they do 100 push-ups. But then the flag run's about 1.25 miles run. So the guys are running with these huge flags. Then the first barge that Tom and I are waiting there for them, they come up, they do another 100 push-ups, and then they do 22 pull-ups. And again, Tom and I get on one of the quick boats. We get up on the next barge, and they meet us there. They repeat the process, another 100 push-ups, another 22 pull-ups. And then when they meet us in New York, as you remember, Tom, they repeat the process. We have pull-up stations, and then the portable showers, which are pretty cool.
Oh, that's right, too. I forgot about that, too.
Yeah.
It's so patriotic, too. It's incredible. Like, if you don't get the goosebumps close to crying, you're, because it's just, knowing who they are as men and women, the things are said, they're in front of this monument that's like a hallway with all the names of people that passed away.
The fallen towers,
towers, and it's looking. You look through it, it looks right where the towers were on the other side of the river. And then the scene, once they get into Lower Manhattan too, where they're all running down the street, bagpipes are playing, they got the flag over the shoulder. These jacked men, they're all Navy SEALs. I know we've thought of this, but it was one of the funniest scenes. I remember it must have been last year, the year before, where the rumor was that Antifa was going to try to show up there and interrupt it all. And we're all looking at each other like, I don't think that's happening. That's not, Antifa's not showing up. That was a serious rumor, wasn't it? It
was. Yeah. And we react, when I say we, collectively, everybody reacted. There was a contingency plan. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Because as Kenny Bigby says, there's no plan B. There's a contingency.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you finish plan A, but you have to make some changes.
So one of the quotes that I mentioned this morning when that little thing I sent you, which I really liked. I liked all three of them, but it's not to live a comfortable life, but to live a comforting life.
Yeah.
So I really like that one.
Yeah, it's not true. Yeah, it's like that's why we're really, and Mark, you've taught me a lot of this stuff too, like the cold shower thing. That kind of mentality. You're standing in the shower, you're nice and warm. You don't have to do it, but you turn the water on cold. I think, like we've talked, it's very healthy. It's good for your immune system, everything, but it's also good for getting yourself practicing. Yes, getting out of that comfort zone, things like that. You can really train yourself to be uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable, right? Yeah.
So off topic, but on training, Tom. This morning, I have a difficult time doing any chest stuff because my shoulders are so bad. So what I discovered this morning, if I take the kettlebell and I do a straight press and then I shift a little bit and then I come down, so it's like really hitting this side of the chest, go back down the middle and then shift here and come down and up. Really works.
Good. Nice.
And the beauty of it, what I like about it is you can, because if you have a bad shoulder or one's worse than the other, you can control how far out to the side you want to go when you come down to and isolate that one side of your chest.
I like it. That's cool.
Yeah. Kind of tripped across it this morning.
I forgot to mention to you what a bad influence you are on me.
Why? What I do now?
Oh no! I posted things. I don't know what happens. My shirt just comes off all of a sudden.
Well, that's why I'm like this today. I figured,
Totally.
Yeah. So last night we take Sophie for a walk after dinner. We call it the family walk. We go all around the complex here. And I've named so there's this one area, it's about 4 townhouses. That's Ozark because there's some funky people living there. I don't know what's going on. And around the back is a woman, God bless her, but she's nuts. She's Fruit Loops, right? So she always leaves her cat outside, right? And the cat is kind of like just trained, but not, So we pull around the back and she's talking to another woman and they seem like they're pretty intense. So we're like, hey, what's going on? So she says, I adopted a cat 4 days ago and it's missing. So we're like, oh, she goes, yes, it's a calico cat. I'm like, all right. And she goes, and it's missing an eye. So I went to say, we'll keep an eye out for it. I caught myself. I said, oh, yeah, we'll look for it. Not Beth. Like a belt-fed machine gun. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it. We'll keep an eye out. I'm like, no, Beth, don't say anything.
That's hilarious. Because that would be the first thing you'd say, right? That's naturally.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for it.
That's really good. Here's a sad story Murray's passing on to us. First piece goes to Toronto Blues. He's lost a 17-year-old daughter or something. Wow.
Oh, my Lord.
H rest in peace, obviously, he meant there. Thanks, Murray, for telling us that. That is sad. Kind of reminds, like in a day like July 4th, Independence Day, I'll let you speak to it. I just want to speak for you when I say this. I know that you hear a lot of stuff now that's, our country's in terrible shape and all that kind of stuff, going to hell in a hand bag or whatever the people want to say. I don't buy that. Like, I still think our country is a fantastic country.
100%.
The actual physical country itself, the Great Lakes, the Rocky Mountains, the oceans, the beaches, and all that. Is there bad stuff going on in our country? Yes, but there's a lot of fantastic stuff going on. And Mark and I are lucky, and others too, to be involved in a lot of great stuff, whether it's people coaching kids or helping neighbors or, people crossing the street, so, but we don't hear about that. And naturally you don't, because it's not, the good stuff is not newsworthy. And that's not, I don't blame the news stations for that. That just doesn't happen. So I just want to make sure we all don't get caught up in that trap that, things are terrible. Yes, there are bad things. There's no question. And right now there's probably more bad things than we're used to, but there's always been bad things that happen. Sure. And there always will be, but
absolutely.
So I'll let you jump in there.
You know what, Tom, it's a great point. And it's two things. I was thinking about this either yesterday or this morning. When we look at the news and we're fed this constant force-fed narrative of every city is dangerous, and it's absolutely more dangerous than they've been in the recent past history. But just look around the world. Look at what goes on every day in a lot of these countries. Most of the planet is a very dangerous place to live. And we have the highest level of comfort of living here. We have the highest security. We have the cleanest air. We have the cleanest water. If you ever go, to just many third world countries, it's just not that way.
Yeah.
The second part about it is, to your greater point, there's a lot of good that goes on we do not hear about. Yeah. So Friday, through our Warriors community of the ice hockey, disabled veterans, guy out of North Carolina, he must be over there. He must have been a special ops guy, but he sends us a note and says, hey, listen, I just rescued a mother and a daughter. I've got them to Poland. They're going to be flying into Newark tonight. Could you have someone there to greet them and welcome them to the United States? So there are things and people working behind the scenes that we don't hear about. Yeah. But and again, this is, it's such a bad place. It's such people. No, this guy's over there risking his life. Totally. And he said, take some pictures so we could send it to their husband and dad who's currently fighting. So
that's a great story.
Yeah, there's a lot of great men and women out there.
Yeah. Like I've learned more too, for so many years, I just concentrated on I wanted to be stronger physically and, learning to put better foods in your body. I'm learning more and more now too. It's the same thing mentally, right? You want to be strong mentally and healthy mentally. So it's what you put into your mind too. It's like what you watch on TV, who you associate yourself with, what you listen to and buy into. Like, just don't, and we all get caught in this trap too. And Mark, you and I both do it. And we try not to do it, but you get around people sometimes and start complaining, and you get dragged into it sometimes. I remember when I played, we would all go sit at the bar after practice, whatever, and Herbie doesn't know what he's doing. And once one guy says it, then everybody buys into it. Right? Like that magic bus shows up, and all of a sudden you're going to get on the magic bus. You don't know why you get on that magic bus, but you get on it anyways. I think it's good to learn as you get older and more experienced with stuff, to learn to separate your thoughts from those negative thoughts.
Absolutely, no question.
Go ahead.
No, well, I read so many books during COVID. I forget how many. I lost track, but one of them, I think it was whatever. He made a great point that you look at your 5 closest friends. That's who you are.
Yeah, totally. And there's good and bad in those 5 too, right? There's some. They're not all the same. Yeah, like some. Yeah.
We're all human, but yeah.
We are human. Yeah. I really get I know I was lucky. I think I told you, must be about 2 weeks ago now, I got to speak in front of Fordham University, had a little symposium put together, and it was high school kids that didn't have to be there, but really volunteered. They wanted to learn. It's more about business, sports business, and entrepreneurship and that kind of stuff. So it was great being in front of them, because it was good to see young kids that were juniors and seniors in high school that are really focused on trying to get more. And they weren't just sitting there. They asked some fantastic questions, a lot of back and forth. You could tell they're really into it. It was a fun opportunity to be in front of it. So.
Yeah, that's great stuff. And it always, you feel so much better afterwards about yourself too. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels good, just in the kind of theme we're talking about now, to see everybody like say, millennials are this or what. I don't know. Is that where we're at now? Millennials? Is that?
I think we move. I'm pretty sure we're going. I don't know. I'd have to ask.
Right.
My kids.
But it's like this stage or these kids in this generation or whatever. They're not all this. They're not. The kids are so different in different ways.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
It's good. So what's the plans for today? You watch fireworks today?
Now we usually go to the town next over here, but we found out they did them Friday night.
Oh.
Yeah, like last night we're sitting around here. Thankfully, it doesn't bother the dog at all. She doesn't even. She just because it sounded like we were being invaded around the corner up here. Yeah, but
my second wife had a little Yorkie, and it kind of became. I worked from home and everything, so the Yorkie kind of became my dog because I didn't so much. And it was during the fireworks. The poor dog was just like, oh,
you don't have to get medicated.
Well, we thought about that. Didn't do it. It didn't last that long. It was like 15, 20 minutes. So it was fine after. So it didn't seem to be like a long lasting problem. But the poor thing, just
they have that thunder blanket too that you can use for fireworks. Gives them a sense of security. They call it a thunder blanket. Yeah. Yeah, but thank God Sophie doesn't. She didn't even blink an eye.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Most dogs spawn.
Yeah. I mean, I was in the corner. Like Sophie was.
You know, we both love dogs. I joke around about this situation here in our complex, but there's the dog. Some dog this morning was howling. It wasn't just
it's not good for dogs.
I know, but I do go back and forth. It's more funny because it's like, you know, you're living in a condominium complex. Even if you're living in a community where the houses are close together, it's still the same thing. Dogs are going to bark.
Yeah, it's going to happen. So no, we're gonna. I'm just gonna after this. I might go work out a bit and then chill by the pool and make dinner. And that's it.
Good deal.
Quiet night.
Same here. I won't do too much. I'll be close to home. Anthony brings up a good point here too. We had our discussion there about people coming to the country. People are dying to get into this country.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's right, Anthony. Absolutely. Yeah, you don't see anybody trying to get into certain nations. Nobody's rushing the border to get into wherever. You know.
Yeah, they want to go into Russia or China or something.
Yeah. Nobody's trying to break into North Korea.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, you know, it's always like when we're in the middle of it, it just seems like this is the worst time for the country, right? Well, we've had civil wars in this country, slavery, all this.
We've had generations go to war, World War I, World War II. I mean, and those wars, everybody went. It wasn't just the young men. Everybody went, you know, and everybody sacrificed. And we were talking about this the other night. That's where they had like Victory Garden because it was food ration. So you'd start a Victory Garden, you grow your own food, and you had to, you know, turn the lights off every night. They would black out the city so in case the bombers came in. So yeah, there was a lot of sacrifices, and you know that generation. When I look back upon it, I think about they went through the Depression as a child, and then they went through World War II as an adult, as a young adult. So, and they were quote unquote. I mean, there's a book written by Tom Brokaw, The Greatest Generation.
Yeah, that's what they call the Greatest Generation, right?
Yeah. And when I really think about it, I mean, my dad, the day he turned 17, he joined the Navy to go to World War to the Pacific. And, you know, my grandmom had to sign him in. And then on his 18th birthday, he shipped out to the Pacific to catch up with his destroyer. And saw a lot of action. Never really talked much about it. Very humble. Came back. He actually dropped out of high school to go off to war. Got his GED. Started working for an electrical contractor, driving trucks. Anyhow, long story short, you know, built an incredible life for our family, and it's just they were truly the greatest generation.
Yeah, I know. We're so soft too, really, right? I mean, like even you and I, like we push ourselves out of the comfort zone, and we do. You know, but the same thing. My parents, you know, growing up, the first house I lived in, my father, neighbor's house burnt down. He went down the road, took whatever he could, and built a house. No toilet, just a bucket. You know, I thought, and the same thing. My life was fantastic. I didn't know any different.
Well, you know, not to get too deep in the weeds, but even all of that kind of ties into your culture. Like a lot of foods we eat were because our grandparents and our lineage, they didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, I look at certain, you know, like oxtail soup and all.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd look at an oxtail. You know what? I'd really like to eat the tail.
That's right. That's true. Yeah. Like I just remember we had fresh corn all the time. We grew on the farm, vegetables. We take a cow, slaughter it. And it was in the basement, in the freezer in the basement. That was our food, you know.
This is what I was talking to Beth last night. I said, we're for most of us, just about all of us, we're separated from actually slaughtering that animal.
Yeah.
Like when you grow up on a farm, it's part of life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. One day you're petting the cow and the next day you're taking them out of a brown.
My mother's father was straight off the boat from Italy.
Right.
And when he retired, he had a machine shop in Patterson. Retired when he was 65, and bought a chicken farm. And he had all these pets. So my mother was about 18 years of age, and he had a goat that followed him around, Tito. My mother says, "Pop, where's Tito?" He pointed to the stove.
That's true. Well, great show. I'm glad we got together today. And again, everybody, have fun, family time, all that kind of stuff. But it is Independence Day. A lot of people that fight and die.
Well, so Paul Curtis, Paul from the Garden, the British dude.
Yeah.
He posts things. He's a great guy. Great guy. Yeah. He goes, "Happy 4th, we forgive you."
That is funny. All right, brother. Great to see you. Happy 4th of July. You're a great man. Guys. You're a magical man. Let's go get it done.